And so people know that they need to do more. They know that they need to get on things like YouTube, podcasting, more marketing, running ads, but they have no idea how to go from where I'm at in this referral business to a digital business. How do I get there?
All right, this is the Charlotte Business Podcast booth. We are at the Charlotte Business Owner Networking event. Be sure to check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube. This interview is brought to you by Podcast Titans, where they plan, produce, publish your podcast, everything podcast related. They can help you with it. Visit podcasttitans.com. I am CJ Williams, if I didn't mention that, and I had the pleasure of being joined by Miss Brieanna.
Brieanna's good. Brie's great also.
All right, great. What are you doing here? What the heck are you doing here?
So the actual predominant reason that I'm here is that my team works completely remote in Charlotte, and so I wanted to get them the experience of going out networking. We can't get so stuck in our homes, so once a month we pick an event that we like in the area and then we go to it as a team. So I brought my whole team here, but then also entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey, so we tend to pick ones that are business specific. And yeah, just coming here to connect and honestly just like flex our skills of like networking, connecting with people, and getting back to the root of that versus just completely like remote.
What type of person do you hope to meet here?
As an introvert, I hope to meet an extrovert. That's an immediate grab for me because it kind of pulls me from that space. But I also just like, truthfully, I just hope to meet people that like I want to learn about people at the end of the day. So it's great for business because I, obviously I would love to meet like financial advisors who are usually my specific niche. As I've had my business for the last 5 years, I've also leaned into entrepreneurs because what I do also applies to any kind of service-based industry. But deeply, I just want to connect with more people and learn about them and flex the skill of like connecting and getting back to the root of that.
All right, so I don't know if we covered this, but you're a business consultant, right?
Correct, yeah.
So what exactly are you consulting them on?
It's a very broad, exactly. So in the essence, what I essentially do is I help business owners create digital businesses. And so I specialize in financial advisors because my co-founder is a financial advisor himself. But again, being in the business for 5 years, I started to realize that what we were teaching them, this infrastructure, actually applies also to anybody who has a service-based industry or a service-based business. So it's been really cool to help them. So imagine this, a lot of people come from referral-based businesses. They're probably 2-3 years in, they've grown, they feel really good about it, but a referral-based business puts you in a space of reactivity because you never know if 1 month you're going to get business or the next not. And so people know that they need to do more. They know that they need to get on things like YouTube, podcasting, more marketing, running ads, but they have no idea how to go from where I'm at in this referral business to a digital business. How do I get there? And I was so tired of hearing all these people tell people what they needed to do and not how they needed to do it. And so we fill that gap. So we come into your business and we say, okay, you need an infrastructure to now support this level of growth you're trying to go after, and we help you figure out what that looks like.
Who are you to be telling people how they gonna do something?
Okay, so what I love so much about my background, in a sense, and there's a time when I didn't appreciate this about myself, is that I actually have no college degree, and I got into entrepreneurship because I sat in the rooms of people that made more than my Italian family, is what I always like to say, more than my entire family, but I was observing them. I'm a really good observer. I'm a big systems person, and I was like, what are you all doing? Like, you're all telling everybody what they need, but I had this kind of humble beginnings. I didn't come into wealth, and so I was like, there has to be a pattern here, right? And so I observed all of them long enough to realize that I then partnered with one of them and was like, what did you do to scale? And he told me all of the things, but where he lacked is he didn't know how to apply it to the everyday business owner that was a financial advisor growing their business. And so I came up with my coaching background, a way to actually apply it. So there's a certain method that everybody's doing to kind of scale, grow their business past referral, but nobody's giving that secret away. And I was tired of it because I didn't come from those backgrounds. So when you say like, who am I to kind of tell them that, is I was nobody, but I sat in the rooms in the corner paying attention. And I was like, there has to be a commonality, and I figured it out. I learned how to replicate it, and then I learned how to scale it.
That's what's up. So how many people on your team now?
I have 2 domestic employees, which I deeply love and appreciate.
We talking international?
I do have international employees, yep. I have a couple in Mexico, I have some in the Philippines, and I have others in Portugal. He's going to kill me for that. Portugal as well. So they are all over the world. We're a completely virtual team. I just happened to to have people domestic here to me in Charlotte, just because they were women that I coach. I play rugby as well. I'm a rugby coach. So my coaching brain is what allowed me to turn this model into an actual applicable like framework that people could utilize. But I just like paid attention to them for a long time, and I was like, you know what? They don't come from these, again, backgrounds that are just like immediate degrees and all this stuff like I was. And I was like, but I believe in you. You know how to operate in teams, and you're successful. And so I believe in them. And the best decision I ever made was hire people that were in my community.
Is this a seven-figure business yet?
It's not a seven-figure business. It's a multi-six-figure business. We are 5 years in. I feel really good about it. One thing I'm super proud of as a business owner that my business partner instilled in me, and then I now have the same belief system, is the first year of business. While I say I've been in business for 5 years, the entire first year we made sure that we didn't broadcast to anybody. We made sure to make sure that our product was sound. So I think a lot of people get in and they love to sell what they have and have no deep background of support to that product, and then what happens is people are kind of just like, and they kind of fall off, especially in service-based. So we made sure the entire first year that what we had was sound. We beta tested. We spent a lot of time making sure that what we were doing was okay. So I'd actually say, if you were to ask me, I'm probably only about maybe 2 to 3 years into business, but now we're at a place of scale. So now I doubled my income last year, or doubled our client personnel last year, which is really great. And we deeply believe that how you do that is to serve with value. If you provide value, money will follow. And so that's proven factual, just for us and then other people in the space too.
How important is it for you to operate within that niche?
Great question. So my business partner, so we own the company, we're 50-50, which doesn't usually work well for a lot of companies. For him and I, it's always worked really, really solid. As we've grown now, being into what I would say is probably our 5th year into growing our business, I've started to realize that the framework that we're teaching people can apply to any service-based entrepreneur. And so we actually recently allowed people that came through our ad outreach, they just kind of fell into there. And we're like, how'd you get here? And the ad, just kind of picks people up through just data. So one we allowed was a life coach, one was a business coach, one was a tutor, and we let them in to beta test them. I let them on at a discount, and I was like, let me see if my framework is sound to your business too. And sure enough, it was. And so I would also say, like, we are flexible in the space of anybody who does service-based industry needs an infrastructure. It doesn't matter what background you come from, but you need an infrastructure. You need to know what makes you stand out. You need to know how to have authority online. You need a sales process that works digitally, not just referral-based. You need the automation to back it, and you need a marketing plan that ultimately supports your business and what your strengths are, not just everyone telling you is working. And so when we implement these 5 systems into businesses, it immediately changes their trajectory.
I feel like you're like better than this.
What do you mean?
From what you're saying, like, you sound like you got your shit together. Like, you really doing something out here, and you don't need to be here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what an interesting question. You know what's really what I love a lot about my business partner and I is, so we've been kind of hidden for a while because it was super important to me. I actually come from marketing companies that were selling to people. So when I was a bartender, I didn't understand money, truthfully. I had no concept of like what an hourly rate was. Like I got paid $700-800 a day working at the airport as a bartender. I mean, I would just crush money in my early 20s. Big issue, right? Never went to college, all that stuff. So when I got let go from the airport, I didn't know what to do with myself. And I fell into a major depression over a year, but I knew that I was a creative. And so I joined this guy that ironically was like, hey, $10 an hour, part-time, do you want to come help me with my like LinkedIn marketing company? And I was like, sure, I like being creative. And so I went there and was working, 20, 30, 40 hours for him, even on a like part-time salary, because I just wanted to absorb more. And as we kind of grew and grew and grew, I realized I was like, wow, I'm really good at this. And I actually took the company to start making $4.1 million. I made a program for them, but I thought the world was as good as I was. And I had to learn pretty quickly that people would take advantage of you. But I was like, no, they're going to pay me a percentage of this, right? Like I was making $28,000 a year to let people above me build a $4.1 million program. And I was the complete face and support of that entire program. But I was like, they'll give me a piece of the pie. They did it. And when we went in for my raise, they actually told me the reason they will not give me a 6-figure salary was simply, again, $28,000. The reason they wouldn't give me 1% of the company was because I don't have a college degree. So consider this my education. And that really sat with me. So as I then began to grow, it's really important to me that I'm in a space now where I have the foundation, I know what we do, I feel really good about it, and I've taken the time because I know what's ahead of me. So even though it's only been 5 years, I do enter rooms like this, and a lot of the problems that people experience, I solve. And now it's time for me to stop letting my business partner be the face and start realizing that I have a big brain too, and it's time for me to now enter into this space too and help people, because people need help, and that's what I want to do ultimately.
That's good. How can people find you?
A great place to find us is advisorelevated.com. That is our website. And yeah, my business partner is Caleb Williams. He's at betterwealth.com. So if you're looking for financial stuff, definitely check him out. But also Advisor Elevated. We do specialize in financial advisor services, but we have been recently taking on this entire beta group of people that are just entrepreneurs looking for better structure. They just don't know how to implement it. And I'm the go-to person for that.
Oh, there you have it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
that
nice
was
to
great.
meet you. Thank you.